Hello and welcome to Chanakya English. Our new story today will be on the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Bill. The VBG Ramji Bill that was recently passed in the Parliament winter session guarantees 125 days of wage employment to people in rural areas, replacing the existing MGNREGA scheme brought under the UPA government. We'll discuss in detail the key aspects of the bill and the need to replace the existing MGNREGA scheme. We'll also be focusing on the claims from the opposition parties condemning this move by the Modi government. Central government has emphasized that the latest bill will not only accelerate rural development but also provide transparency and accountability mechanism with enhanced security features and administrative provisions. Let's look at the key takeaways of the VBG Ramji Bill. The bill that replaces MGNREGA with a new statutory framework aligned with Viksit Bharat 2047 will be closely aligned with the Viksit Bharat 2047. What is Viksit Bharat 2047? It translates to Developed India 2047, which is a vision of the Indian government to transform India into a developed nation by its 100th anniversary of independence, focusing on inclusive growth, economic strength, technology, sustainability, and good governance. Coming to the VBG Ramji Bill. The employment guarantee is enhanced to 125 days per rural household, contrary to the existing scheme which guarantees 100 days of work per rural household. It links wage employment with durable rural infrastructure across 4 priority areas, contrary to the MGNREGA scheme, which doesn't have categorical divisions on or categorical areas under which rural employment or rural development will be focused. So it's more focused under the 4 priority areas. Let's look at what are those 4 priority areas. Number 1, water security through water related works, which includes support for irrigation and groundwater recharge. Number 2, core rural infrastructure such as roads, connectivities, public buildings and school infrastructure. Number 3, livelihood related infrastructure, which encompasses storage facilities, markets and production related assets to help diversify income. Number 4, special works to mitigate extreme weather events through special works focused on climate resilience such as flood control, soil conservation and water harvesting. Most importantly, all assets created are aggregated into the Viksit Bharat National Rural Infrastructure Stack, ensuring a unified, coordinated national development strategy. Planning is decentralized through Viksit Gram Panchayat plans, which are prepared locally and spatially integrated with national systems such as PM Gati Shakti. The next important part of the VBG Ramji Bill is the shift to normative funding and a centralized structure which improves predictability, accountability and center-state partnership. Having looked at the key aspects of the bill, let's look at what are the gaps in the MGNREGA scheme. Though the MGNREGA scheme, which is an existing scheme, there are deeper structural issues that persisted. Monitoring across several states have revealed gaps such as work not found on the ground, expenditure not matching physical progress, use of machines in labor-intensive works, and frequent bypassing of digital attendance system. Over the time, these misappropriations have accumulated and only a small portion of households were able to complete the full 100 days of employment in the post-pandemic period. These trends indicate that though the delivery systems have improved, the overall architecture of MGNREGA has reached its limit. The VBG Ramji Bill responds to this experience through a comprehensive legislative reset. It strengthens the implementation framework by increasing the administrative expenditure ceiling from 6% to 9%, providing greater support for staffing, remuneration, training, and technical capability. The shift from a central sector scheme to a centrally sponsored framework reflects the inherently local nature of rural employment and asset creation. Under the new architecture, states share both cost and responsibility through a normative allocation framework creating stronger incentives for effective implementation and preventing misuse. Let's take a deeper look at the normative allocation. What is normative allocation? Normative allocation means the allocation of the fund made by the center to the governments in the state. A demand-based model, such as MGNREGA, leads to unpredictable allocations and mismatched budgeting. Normative funding aligns the scheme with the budgeting model used Government of India schemes without reducing the employment guarantee. Through the use of objective parameters, ensuring predictable and rational planning, at the same time preserving their legal entitlement for employment and for unemployment allowance. The total estimated annual requirement of funds on wage, material and administrative components is roughly around 1,51,282 crores, including the state share. Of this, the estimated central share is 95,692.31 crores. This transition does not impose an undue financial burden on states. The funding structure is calibrated to state capacity with a standard cost sharing ratio of 60-40 between center and the states. Enhanced support of 90:10 for northeastern and Himalayan states and 100% central funding for union territories without legislatures. States were already bearing a share of material and administrative costs under the earlier MGNREGA scheme, and the move to predictable normative allocation further supports sound budgeting. Provision of additional assistance to states during disaster and stronger oversight mechanisms also help reduce long-term losses arising from misappropriation, reinforcing fiscal stability and alongside accountability. Let's also talk about the benefits to farmers. Farmers benefit from assured labor availability through state-notified pauses in public works during peak sowing and harvesting seasons, prevention of wage inflation, and improved irrigation, storage, and connectivity. Laborers gain from higher potential earnings, predictable work through Vikshit Gram Panchayat plans, secure digital wage payments, direct benefits from the assets they help create, and a mandatory unemployment allowance. Where work is not provided, a daily unemployment allowance becomes payable after 15 days, with liability resting on the states. Now that summarizes the differences between both the bills. When the bill was presented in the parliament, a huge cry was made from the opposition on the removal of Mahatma Gandhi's name from the existing MGNREGA scheme, or changing the name of the scheme where Mahatma Gandhi's name is getting removed. Whereas the focus on normative allocation or the benefits of the new bills were seldom discussed. More focus to the name change and less focus to the aspects of the bill is what we saw in the parliament. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to Chanakya English for more such stories.